Just hours ago, the Virtual Telescope project dropped two new images of 3I/ATLAS, but something's missing, and it's left even NASA and the Voyager team stunned. The comet's supposed to be shedding billions of tons of gas, yet there's no tail, no glow, nothing. How can a 5 billion-ton object accelerate without losing mass? Is this physics? Or something else at work beyond our understanding? Let's dive right in. The moment those new 3I/ATLAS images appeared online, scientists around the world went silent. Two fresh frames from the Virtual Telescope project. And yet, the most shocking part wasn't what we saw. It was what we didn't. No tail, no cloud, no trace of material escaping into space. Just a single cold dot of light, steady, compact, and impossibly clean, for an object that should have lost billions of tons of gas as it skimmed the sun. This makes no sense. By every known law of astrophysics, 3I/ATLAS should be shedding matter like a dying star. According to Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, the amount of gas needed to explain its sudden acceleration is astronomical, around 5 billion tons in a single month. That kind of activity would light up the sky. We'd see a vast glowing tail stretching for millions of kilometers. Instead, the telescope captured nothing but silence. And silence in space is never a good sign. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory quickly confirmed a strange detail. Atlas's orbit had shifted by 4 arcseconds, translating to roughly 80 kilometers off its predicted course. It's as if something gave it a nudge, a gentle, deliberate push that physics alone couldn't explain. When scientists plotted the data, the results were even stranger. The acceleration wasn't coming from one direction, but two, partly away from the sun and partly sideways. That means Atlas isn't simply drifting, it's being guided. If this were a normal comet, solar heat would vaporize the ice, producing jets of gas that push the body naturally. But there's no evidence of that here. No gas, no tail, no infrared signature, just motion without thrust, a contradiction that has the Voyager imaging team and several astrophysicists scratching their heads. One NASA analyst put it best: it's like watching a ship move through the ocean, leaving no wake behind. That's when the theories began to divide. Some said the data must be wrong. Others, including Dr. Loeb, pushed back, reminding the community of Oumuamua, the first interstellar object ever recorded, which showed the same pattern back in 2017. Non-gravitational acceleration without any visible outgassing. Many dismissed that anomaly at the time, but ATLAS, it's larger, brighter, heavier, and doing it again. This time we can't look away. As Atlas approached the sun in late October, astronomers noticed something even stranger. Instead of glowing red like dust-rich comets do, it turned blue. Bluer than the sun itself. Physically, that shouldn't be possible. Cooler objects emit red light. Blue means heat, immense heat, or a completely different mechanism of reflection. Some plasma researchers suggest the blue glow could result from ionized gas interacting with an electromagnetic field, something that, if true, would hint at a technological propulsion system, not a natural one. And then came the event no one expected. In July 2025, telescopes observed a jet of material firing toward the sun, the exact opposite of what solar radiation should cause. Every known comet's tail points away from the sun. But Atlas broke that rule. It's as if something on or within it was firing deliberately, counteracting solar pressure instead of yielding to it. That moment changed the tone of the conversation. Theories that once sounded like science fiction suddenly became impossible to ignore. Spectroscopic analysis deepened the mystery. Atlas isn't made of icy dust like most comets. It's overwhelmingly metallic with a nickel-to-iron ratio resembling engineered alloys, materials used in jet engines and spacecraft on Earth. And unlike typical comets, which contain around 80% water, Atlas is almost completely dry, only 4% water content. How does something form in the depths of space with so little ice and so much metal? That's when a new idea began circulating quietly among research circles. What if ATLAS isn't a comet at all, but a fragment of something built? Not everyone agrees, of course, but even skeptics admit its structure doesn't match natural models. Some analyses show that its surface reflects light like polished metal, not rough rock. The polarization angles even shift with sunlight, as if reflecting from flat geometric surfaces, like panels. And that brings us to the next bizarre coincidence. Location. Atlas entered our solar system from the same general direction as the 1977 WOW signal, the mysterious narrowband radio burst that once made scientists believe we had detected an extraterrestrial transmission. The alignment isn't perfect, but it's close enough to make even cautious astronomers uneasy. Both came from near Sagittarius, and both share similar celestial coordinates. If that's pure coincidence, it's a remarkable one. Some CT researchers now speculate that Atlas could be related to that long-lost signal, a kind of probe or relay device, possibly dormant for decades and reactivated as it neared the Sun. Others believe it could be scanning gravitational or electromagnetic fields, almost like an automated surveyor collecting data. But while theories grow bolder, the data stays stubbornly simple. A massive body is accelerating without visible cause. That single fact has cracked open the foundation of astrophysics. There's also something eerie about its path. Atlas's orbit lies just 5 degrees off the ecliptic plane, the same flat disk where all planets orbit. Statistically, that's nearly impossible for an object from another star system. If it were random, it could have approached from any direction. But this one slides perfectly through our planetary plane, like a ship choosing a specific corridor through the stars. And as it journeyed through the inner system, it seemed to make choices. It passed near Mars, then Venus, and then Jupiter, each encounter offering rich gravitational and magnetic data. But it skipped Earth. Perfectly. Its closest point, December 19th, comes just far enough to observe, yet too far to contact. Coincidence or calculated avoidance? When the James Webb Space Telescope turned its instruments toward ATLAS, the readings confirmed one more strange clue. There's no sign of water vapor or dust jets. Instead, the infrared data hinted at a surface capable of withstanding extreme heat, possibly coated in a ceramic-like composite layer, the kind used on high-speed spacecraft to prevent evaporation or burn-up. If confirmed, this would mean Atlas has a protective shell, something no natural comet has ever shown. It's this blend of precision, resilience, and silence that's forcing scientists to rethink everything. Because if it's not natural, then someone, or something, engineered it. And yet, we have to be careful. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Maybe Atlas is a rare class of interstellar rock we've never encountered. Maybe our instruments are misreading data. But if this object keeps accelerating without showing a gas cloud by December, there will be only one explanation left. It's moving with purpose. Think about what that means. For decades, humanity has looked outward, asking whether someone out there is watching us. But what if the answer has been quietly drifting through our solar system all along? Observing, measuring, maybe waiting. In some underground scientific forums, a bold theory called the mirror galaxy effect has begun spreading. It suggests that when a civilization reaches nuclear capability, a distant probe activates somewhere in deep space to evaluate whether that civilization poses a threat to others. Could ATLAS be one of those silent watchers? It's a provocative idea, but with every new observation it feels less like fantasy and more like a question we're not ready to face. In the next few weeks, as Atlas approaches its closest point to Earth, more telescopes will lock on. Scientists will search for the missing gas cloud that should exist, 5 billion tons of it. If they see it, the mystery ends. But if they don't, the story of Atlas may redefine everything we know about life beyond Earth. For now, one truth remains. A TLAS isn't behaving like a comet. It's behaving like something that knows where it's going. And that's why December 19th may not just be another day in astronomy. It could be the day humanity realizes we were never alone to begin with. As Atlas races toward its closest approach on December 19th, humanity stands on the edge of discovery, or revelation. If no gas cloud appears, then something extraordinary is happening right now, just beyond our skies. Could this be the moment we finally realize we've been watched all along? Or will science find a new law to explain the impossible? Either way, history is unfolding in real time, and you're part of it. Stay tuned for our next deep dive as we track ATLAS through its final approach. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit like, drop your thoughts below, and subscribe to Galactic Breaking News, because when the next image drops, you'll want to be the first to know. Turn on notifications and keep your eyes on the stars. The truth might already be looking back. NASA is stunned. 3I/ATLAS was just caught by Voyager's instruments, showing massive thrust with zero visible tail. No dust, no outgassing, nothing nature can explain. Yet its speed suddenly spiked, as if something powered it deliberately. Is this propulsion? Or proof we're not alone? The data is real, and it's shaking astronomy to its core. Let's dive right in. When the first signals of 3I/ATLAS reached Earth, astronomers thought it would be just another interstellar comet, a frozen traveler glowing faintly as sunlight boiled its icy surface. But the data that came next forced everyone, from NASA to Harvard, to pause. Something about this object didn't behave like anything we've ever seen before. It started with a simple observation. 3I/ATLAS suddenly changed speed. Not by a little, but by a measurable, sustained burst, a kind of thrust that no known natural force could explain. At first, NASA assumed it must be caused by outgassing, volatile ices vaporizing and pushing the object like a rocket. That's how comets move. But there was one problem. There was no tail, no dust, no debris, no bright jet of material, just a sharp, compact dot of light, calm, stable, and silent. To put this in perspective, for any comet to accelerate that much, it would need to lose about 10 to 13% of its entire mass, throwing billions of tons of gas and dust into space. The result would be an enormous glowing tail stretching tens of thousands of kilometers, something visible even through amateur telescopes. But in new images taken on November 5th, there was nothing. It looked exactly the same as it did 3 months ago. The absence